Okay, we're just going to do a couple of examples from section 5.4 if you would open up your book. We're going to use exclusively these sum and difference formulas. These formulas you will not have to memorize. I will give you a copy of this page when you take your chapter test. It has the unit circle there, and it also has the sum and difference formulas down here. You just have to make sure you get the signs right. Okay. Okay, so here's example 1. Find the exact value of sine of pi over 12. So pi over 12 is some angle that we don't have on the unit circle, and so we don't know the exact value. But we can use the fact that 1/12 is equal to 1/3 minus 1/4, and we break up pi over 12 into pi over 3 minus pi over 4. And so we start out like this. So the sine of u minus v from up here, we can get the formula. It's equal to the sine of u times the cos of v minus the cos of u times the sine of v. So we just fill that in. Our pi over 3, I've written it out here, and you can label this on your homework. Pi over 3 is the u, and the pi over 4 is the v, and then you just fill those in right here, and those values you can get from your unit circle. So the sine of u times the cos of v minus the cos of u times the sine of v, sine of pi over 3 from the unit circle, cos of pi over 4 from the unit circle, the same thing there. Multiply your fractions, you'd get the square root of 6 over 4 minus the square root of 2 over 4, and that would be your final answer. When it says exact, we want to leave those in the radical form. That is exact. Okay, example 2. Similar problem, except here they have used, instead of pi radians, they use degrees. Again, 75 degrees is not an angle measure on our unit circle, but we can break up 75 into 30 plus 45. And so this becomes the u, 30 is the u, and 45 is the v. We come over here to what is the formula for the cos of u plus v. It's equal to the cos of u times the cos of v minus the sine of u times the sine of v. And so we're just going to write that out. The cos of u times the cos of v minus the sine of u times the sine of v. Find these values from the unit circle, multiply them out, and there's your final answer. Okay, the last example, find the exact value of sine u plus v given that the sine of u is equal to 4/5 and it is between 0 and 90. That means it's in the first quadrant. So let me show you what you're going to want to do there. We're given the sine of u is 4/5. U is in the first quadrant, so we're going to go ahead, draw quadrants, sketch some triangle such that the sine, which is the opposite over the hypotenuse, is 4/5. There's u, our angle. We don't know what u is, and it doesn't matter as long as we can find all the sides of the triangle, so we can figure out the trigonometric functions of this angle. So we use the Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared, or you remember this is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, so this side is 3. We found that by using the Pythagorean theorem. We're also given in the book the cos of v is equal to negative 12 over 13, where v is between pi over 2, which is 90, and pi, which is 180, so that puts us in quadrant number 2. So I've just sketched a random triangle. V is the angle. The cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Remember, the hypotenuse is always positive, so the adjacent would be negative 12. The hypotenuse is 13. Again, you can do the Pythagorean theorem, but it does help to remember your Pythagorean triples. The opposite side here would be 5, and that's a positive 5 because it's going up. Okay, so the sine of u plus v from the chart is equal to the sine of u times the cos of v plus the cos of u times the sine of v. Okay, and we're going to get these values from the triangle. Here's u. The sine of u is opposite over hypotenuse, so this would be 4/5. The cos of v is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that is -12/13. Both of those values were given to us in the problem, right? Plus, now the cos of u, so here's u, the cos is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, 3/5, multiplied by the sine of v, which is opposite over hypotenuse, or 5/13, and then you can just do your arithmetic here. I will let you just look at what they've done here, and they've simplified, and your final answer would be -33/65, and you would be done.